July 5th, it got a little hazier. I wonder if this is more African dust. So yeah, we're talking about dust because there's nothing else to talk about really. But I found something very cool. This is the NASA Worldview website, and I'm looking at the aqua aerosol optical depth. The reddish you see here, this indicates where some of the radiation from the surface is being attenuated, probably by dust and smoke and haze. We don't get readings where there's degraded data, such as along these sun glints that you see here, and we don't get them in clouds. So it's a very spotty type of data, and you have to kind of squint and kind of use your imagination to pick out what's in the gaps. But I'm going to show you something cool. This is June 22nd. See the coast of Africa here, and here's North America off to the left. Okay, we're going to watch this area in between, starting with the African coast. June 22nd. Now watch this. Here comes a plume of dust coming off the African coast. June 24th, now you see it pushing out into the Atlantic. June 25th, June 26th, see it right there? June 27th, it's now coming across Puerto Rico. June 28th, coming up on Cuba and the Dominican Republic. June 29th right there. June 30th, now it's in the Caribbean near the Yucatan. July 1st, it's degraded by the sun glint data, but it's under here. And then July 2nd, look at that, now we see it in Texas. If you go back to the July 2nd video, and I showed you the haze, that's the African dust. And if we run this back one more time, go back to, let's see, June 27th. See that right there? Here comes another wave of it. June 28th, June 29th, right there north of Venezuela and Guyana. June 30th, July 1st, now it's over the Caribbean. July 2nd, now it's deep in the Caribbean, and there's that other wave back there going on to Texas. July 3rd, now it's over the Yucatan, coming up on Belize. July 4th, now it's into the Gulf of Mexico, and July 5th, now it's on the Texas coast. See, that's pretty cool. A lot of tools out there like this we can use to follow this dust. Okay, so this is July 5th, and you can see there's a couple more waves. So I think every 2 or 3 days we're going to see visibility increasing, then dropping due to this dust, and that's probably what we're going to be looking at. And this is kind of loosely tied to the easterly waves because they come off of the African coast in a very similar manner. They drift westward, and when they develop, we do get tropical storms and hurricanes. Here's the visible imagery from the GO satellite. It's not so good for picking up haze, but most everything else shows up pretty well on it. Here's the sea breeze, starts out near Houston. Move that forward from 9 a.m. up through noon. Texas stays shut down. That big ridge keeping things locked up. Things do fire in Louisiana and Arkansas because they're not under a ridge. And out west of here, it's a lot easier to get storms going in higher terrain where we have the Rocky Mountains. And they're also getting a feed of moisture from the Gulf coming from northeastern New Mexico up through the Big Bend area and up into the Rockies. So they've got an active weather pattern, kind of early for this time of year, but still any rain is good out there. Here's the surface chart. Very boring pattern across Texas, just southeasterly winds coming up from the Gulf. The exception, though, in far west Texas, you see winds coming together like that. Southwesterly winds here at Carlsbad, southeasterly winds there at Midland and Hobbs. This outlines an area of convergence. Like if you take a bunch of marbles and you shove them together, they're going to pile up and try to stack on top of each other. That kind of forcing is what we need to get storms and showers. So very good convergence line, and if we plot the streamlines parallel to the wind flow, yeah, you can definitely see it right there. All the way from West Texas up to practically Colorado. And there's another convergence line there extending from Lufkin up to Dallas. Normally that would definitely give us showers, but the ridge is keeping us shut down, so no chance of that happening. So I'll just give you a very quick run through of the upper level chart since there's not much going on except for dusty sky and hot weather. This is the 30,000 foot 300 millibar chart showing the upper level conditions. Got a high across West Texas with this ridge built up. This is keeping things shut down, and you can see not a whole lot of change as we go into Monday. Then Tuesday, ridge still hanging on. We got a bit of jet stream energy coming on shore into Southern California, giving them some rain that they definitely need. But this jet is just not able to break down the ridge. Makes a little bit of progress into the Panhandle, so we may see a few good thunderstorms up there around Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, around Amarillo. But looks like a continued stagnant pattern for most of Texas, and as we get into Saturday and Sunday, looking pretty good as far as probably not going to see much in the way of any change in the weather. Jet stream moves north of Texas, and now at this point the model is starting to lose accuracy, so we'll just take this with a grain of salt. This suggests that we get into the pattern that we had last week with northerly flow, increasing our chance of rain, bringing some jet stream energy south. But anyway, I'm going to stop it there because now it's just getting insane that this is probably wrong. But we'll just keep an eye on that for a week from now, the possibility of more northerly flow coming into Texas. So that's the Texas weather forecast. Hope you enjoyed it. We will see you tomorrow. Alright, we got a video being uploaded to YouTube, and I'm working out a banner to put on here because they need some giant. The screen requirements are huge. Look at this. They need 2560 by 1440. There's like a text safe area and stuff like that, so I got to figure all that out, and hopefully we can get something that looks good. Alright, I got kind of an artistic thing going here. I'm just kind of grabbing random stuff and putting it together. Some stuff from the Weather Service. I'm going to put a 500 millibar chart on there. Well, 6 p.m. We have pretty much dried out. See, there's no towers like there were yesterday, but we've got a lot of haze back, so this is either that Saharan sand or it's that haze from the Midwest. Well, I've been inside all day doing videos, so I'm going to get this forecast video wrapped up and take a break and see how things go. Maybe do some gaming or something. Well, when you live out in the country, if you want to take a break, you go to town. Looking at the Trinity River here. It's gone down about 10 feet. This thing was about 30 feet, 20 or 30 feet above flood stage a few weeks ago when we had those bad rains in May.